And I'm sitting here trying to keep my leg up because it's been a little bit swollen. I did not put makeup on my yellow jacket stain from yesterday, so y'all are just going to stare at it. What I'm doing today is taking the cutout for a raccoon skin hat that is made to size for a young man's grandchild, and I'm sewing it. So if you're going to hate me for that, you can just switch channels right now, because that's what's going to be happening. Give everybody a minute or two to pile in. I know it's a Friday night and everybody probably has much better things to do than listen to me. But we'll see who shows up. I have to sew regardless, so I thought, if I have to sew, I might as well be on here talking, so somebody has to be listening to me. So while I'm talking to you this evening, I will be making a raccoon skin hat, which may not be some of y'all's favorite thing to watch. That's okay. We don't have to like 100% of what each other does. We just have to accommodate each other's weirdness and find a middle ground. Isn't that the beauty of supposedly living in a free nation? Or should I say, wasn't that the beauty of supposedly living in a free nation? Y'all are also going to see me struggle to thread these stupid needles because I forgot my glasses in my Jeep. And guess who has my Jeep? My husband. My husband has my Jeep, so my husband has my eyeballs, effectively. So that will be the biggest pain in the butt, will be threading this needle 50 times over tonight as I sew this. And as y'all watch me sew this and think, my God, she's the biggest hick in the world. Yep, I am. Think I win that prize every day. But do know that these things have been tanned, they've been sterilized, they've been through several processes of cleaning. It's basically like licking your Ralph Lauren polo at this point. So if I'm touching and handling and licking threads and threading needles, and it's okay. It's not any more nasty than what you have hanging in your closet made of natural fibers and furs. So you'll survive if you watch me do this, I swear. And of course, for everybody that always wants to know, the animals were legally and locally harvested at the request of the TWRA because they were considered nuisance animals due to numbers being too prevalent. So we don't just get out and trap because, woohoo, it's fine. We only really trap where the TWRA asks us to trap, because David can stay busy at work, but he traps Antoine. Did I say that right? Antoine Lunt. I'm fine. How are you? I'm having a old person Friday evening at home trying to make something. I call them my sanity projects. My husband is a trapper and a tanner, but he also works at a factory. I'm a retired parole officer, but I have a neuromuscular disorder like MS, so I'm stuck at home now. So I like to do crafts that kind of, instead of my Irish side, they kind of celebrate my Cherokee side. So tonight I'm making a raccoon skin hat. I've got the fur to fur. I've got all of my leather worker thimbles on. Y'all should see how beat up my hands are in real life. This is the needle I'm using. I have staked that sucker to the knuckle bone a few times. I do also have copper gloves that I sometimes wear if my hands start cramping, but I've given my hands a couple days off, so I don't think they're going to start cramping tonight. So I did not go to put the gloves on immediately because then I look really strange. Hey Denise, how you doing? The guy that stained our house, his grandson wanted a a raccoon skin hat, and I didn't have any small enough for him that day because I make them all different sizes. It really depends on the animal and how much fur the animal has and how fat the animal was. And I just couldn't get that out of my head. So I was like, measure that little booger's head and I will make him a hat. So he finally got around to measuring his head for me. And I said, well, I'll make his little hat. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm making a little, like, 8-year-old boy or a raccoon skin hat so he can go play Davy Crockett, I'm sure, in his backyard. But I mean, you know, that's what Mimi's like me are for, I guess, right? That's where we come in useful, I reckon. Stuff like that. If you hear me cuss, it is cause I have stabbed myself with this needle. Don't be feared. I do it a few times every time I'm sewing something. You will learn all the bad words that I know. Sorry in advance, but it really hurts. You're alive in here, Denise. That's about all of us can ask for, isn't it? Did I tell y'all there's a black bear in my corn the other night? We went out to try to hoe the corn because it's been so wet here we ain't been able to work the garden. And if I speak real funny to where some of you have a hard time understanding me, it's because I am from Podunk, Appalachia, and I have the dying dialect of Appalachia, of the Scots-Irish people that came in here and mixed with the Cherokee, and actually mixed with the Cherokee and the slaves and the Melungeons. And so we got quite a history going on in my family. I'm proud of it. But I'm backwoods, and I have what they call the dying dialect of Appalachia. And so I'm going to always twang because I'm one of the last twangers in the world. But if I ever say something and you can't understand, just ask me to repeat it. You will not in any way upset me because I know how silly I sound sometimes. When I had to work professionally, I had to kind of shut it down a lot, and it made me mad because I was a parole officer and counselor. And it irritated me to really have to, you had to present yourself as a blank piece, a blank slate, a blank piece of fabric to be molded by the state or federal government. That bothered me in so many ways, y'all. I'm just not going to tell you just the heebie-jeebies I got by working for the state. Hey, Ashley. I just, it was not good. I didn't like it. But, I have found a new friend on YouTube that makes me laugh, and I want to share her with you all. She makes me laugh, and I took an awesome nap today. I was talking to Gypsy, and then I went into an awesome nap. I bet you Gypsy wonders where in the crap I went. I fell asleep. Mom called, and then I fell asleep. But she's got a brand new channel, and it's called Little Bit of Nail. Little Bit of Nail. Nail with one L, N-E-L, because her name's Chanel. She does Temu reviews, and she cracks me up. She's like after the perfect wig. And y'all, I don't wear wigs, but after watching her struggle to find the perfect wig, I want to buy a wig. I now want to buy a wig to understand this frustration that she's going through. But I also use her because I also watch her because she is very helpful with her reviews on the Temu stuff, and I'm sorry, but I love Temu. They actually even sell gemstones. They actually sell a lot of craft items. They sell a lot of pool items and solar lights, which we all know I'm addicted to, so that's why I'm there all the time. But she reviews the items she gets. And so sometimes if I've been looking at something, I will wait for Nell to review it before I will purchase it to see if it's worth anything or not. So if you're looking for a new lady to make you laugh, she cracks me up. Like I'm crying by the time I finish all of her videos. It's called Little Bit of Nail, N-E-L. And she's hilarious. Like, I mean, I if I lived closer, she would be somebody I'd be like, hey girl, open your door, I'm coming over for coffee or tea. And I'd be with her all day long giggling. I would have a tribe. If I could just suck everybody that I like on YouTube into like a 30-mile radius of me, I would have the most perfect tribe of people that God ever made. It would just be amazing to have y'all that close to me. But she is hilarious, and she recommended a perfume that was really kind of ambiguously advertised in the Temu store. It was kind of it didn't really have a whole lot. I'm taking this one off for a minute. It didn't really have a whole lot of good things said about it, but it didn't have a whole lot of bad things said about it. And some of their perfume dupes are really good, and they're really light notes, which are really good for people like me that have migraines. Well, she did a review on one and was like, and was very surprised at how good it smelled, and gave the notes of what it smelled like. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna buy that. And it was only like $2. I mean, it wasn't bad, so I bought it. And it was like milk something other perfume, and I was like, okay, that doesn't sound too alluring. But she said it smelled great, honey. It smells like a caramel cake pop. Honey, I smelled like a caramel cake pop. It was wonderful. I am making a raccoon skin hat for a young man. The guy who stayed in our house, his grandson wanted a raccoon skin hat so he could play Davy Crockett. So, you know, he's like 8 years old. How do you say no? You can't. you sit down, you sew that boy a raccoon hat. But it was like milk perfume. It was weird. I'll have to post share a community page picture of the item itself. But she was dead on. It was caramel. I smelled, even David thought I smelled good. And he never notices when I wear any perfume. Unless it's Tank 69 and it's deer season. And then he's like, oh, you going hunting with me? But man, I swear. But she was dead on. It smelled exactly like caramel pie, caramel cake pop. It was just, it's lovely. I've spritzed myself a couple times when I've passed it on the dresser today because it's just lovely. And so I've taken to watching her because, number one, she's funnier than crap. And number two, she's pretty doggone accurate with her reviews on these items. And I really appreciate the accuracy. And if she, you know, she'll tell you, I'll keep it a buck with you. And she does. She will keep it a buck with you. She'll keep it 100. She'll tell you all about it. And she won't lie. And I get the biggest kick out of her. And she's actually watched a few of my videos and gotten some kicks out of me. And it's hilarious, the people you find, you know, that you just know God sprinkled them in your life for a reason. But she has just brought so much laughter and sunshine into my little world the last couple of days. And I thought, well, I'm going to share her again with y'all. I've made a couple posts about her. But if you want to watch somebody do Temu hauls and other hauls, and you want to watch somebody just completely be honest with what they're purchasing, go watch Little Bit of Nell, N-E-L. She is hilarious. You'll love her. I fell in love with her. I've adopted her. She's part of my family. You can't tell me no. I've done adopted her. Now, who wants a FedEx update from the FedEx monstrosity yesterday? Anybody just itching to find out what happened there? Let me tell you what, I ain't never in all my born days. Now, I'm nice. I am always overtly nice unless I have a reason to not be. Matter of fact, most of the time I'm too nice, and I need to be more apprehensive with people. I really do. But I think my old job just have way too much courage. I really need to check myself every once in a while. But the FedEx truck finally backed up in my driveway. Oh, that's awesome, Ashley. I don't think she's done anything paid yet, but I hope Temu picks her to do some of that because she would be great. I know that Ashley Loves does some reviews, and I like to watch Ashley Loves. She's a sweetheart too. But now, a Little Bit of Nail cracks me up. Like, I would spend all day with this woman if I lived close to her. I would just knock on her door and go, "I'm not leaving. I'm sorry. You've just adopted me. I'm here to stay." She's funny. So I had another FedEx package that I got notified was due today, and I knew what it was. It was something for the pool. One of those necessary. I'm trying to redneck make a skimmer, y'all. Just, it happened. Give me time. I'm working on it. But so I knew that the FedEx was going to come to my driveway today, supposedly to deliver at least one package. And surely to God, the man that couldn't find my house for 3 days, surely to God had worked that out by now. So, oh, here they come. Beep, beep, beep. And I said, oh, well, you know, the FedEx man's here, to which David says to me, be nice. No. So I get out there, and the main guy, who is the new driver, it took him forever to find the box of food that should have been here 3 days ago. And I said, can't you find it? I'm sure it's stinking by now. It was due here 3 days ago. Just pick the one that stinks the most. It's mine. And David's like, you're just going to make it worse. I said, he won't even come up here to this porch. I said, that man's a liar. I said, he lied and said he had the incorrect address when he's been here twice. He knew it was the correct address. He knew where he was going. I said, he never tried to deliver that. I said, I know. And David said, how do you know all that? I said, honey, I just feel it. I said, I feel it in my bones. I know what kind of man this man is. I said, I supervised a whole bunch of them. I said, he is lazy. And I said, if he worked in a pie tasting factory, I said, he'd get fired because he'd get tired of tasting pies. I said, that's just how sorry this man is. And David said, okay. He said, do whatever you're going to do then. And I said, it's going to anyway, so whatever. Sure enough, that man finally finds that box of food. Been buried in that hot truck for 4.5, almost 5 days. Is only supposed to stay in a hot truck 1 to 1.5 days. And then sends his trainee up to my porch with it. Wouldn't even come to my porch, and the poor trainee comes up there, and I'm like, listen, I should have had this 3 days ago, so basically what you're giving me is rotten meat. Rotten meat. And I said, I've been looking for you for 3 days, and I said, the thing is they couldn't find you, I couldn't find you. I said, but he put incorrect address the day it was supposed to be delivered, and he said, well, ma'am, and this was where I got him. He said, well, ma'am, I've been training with him all week, and he said, we ain't come down this road not once. Well, then do tell me how you knew it was an incorrect address if you ain't been down this road not once. He said that we'd have to hit that road again later in the week, and we'd just wait and go down it one time. I said, did he fail to tell you that what he had was going to ruin if he waited to do that? No, he didn't say that the box we had was going to ruin if we waited. I just figured he knew what he's talking about. I'm just the trainee. And I said, if I was you, I said, I'd find somebody else to train under. I said, because let me tell you what. I said, 9 o'clock last night. I said, y'all hadn't showed up. I said, I called FedEx and said, it's time to piss on the fire and call the dogs. You boys ain't showing up. They're lost. They ain't going to do the job. You've replaced my dandy FedEx man that I adored and loved, that knew my dog, brought my dog snacks, and was always kind and sweet and honest and appreciative, and always said it right by my door because he knew I had mobility issues some days. With a piece of garbage. They won't even come down the road because, oh, well, I see that I'm going to have another package 2 days later. I'll just wait and do it then. Not realizing that he's got food. Well, he should realize that it said Home Chef meal kits on it. I mean, stupid is as stupid does, but how dumb do you have to be to not understand that anything that says Home Chef meal kits contains food? Contains food products, propane and propane accessories. I'm in one of those moods, y'all. So I told that little fella, I said, I sure would ask him somebody else to train under. I said, because I said, you don't want to learn his bad habits. So let me tell you what. And that little guy, he goes, well, ma'am, I know what you're going through. My father has Lou Gehrig's disease. I said, oh, you know what I'm going through because your father has Lou Gehrig's disease. Well, did you leave him home to starve for 3 days and not bring him any food? Oh, no, ma'am. Okay, well, then you don't know what I'm going through. David has worked till 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning every day. I have emptied out my pantry. We have had some of the weirdest, strangest meals. Home Chef was great and did refund our money, but it took, a couple of days to hit the bank. So we finally went and got some groceries today. Y'all, I can't buy groceries twice in a week. That ain't how my financial funds are made. But I filed a claim all the way to corporate because of what that boy said. He said, I've been training with him all week and we ain't been down this road once. So he fraudulently put in his case notes that he was down my road and had identified that it was an incorrect address and could not be delivered, even though he delivered here twice for the 2 weeks before and brought me my food. So I put it up with corporate. And I'm putting the claim with corporate. Because then he would not, even though I'm on the porch trying to address him and be like, hey, if you're going to get lost every time you come up here, you need to mark this road because I'm going to have a delivery for you every week. And it can't be 3 days late. You're going to have to deliver stuff or you're going to get fired because I will make a scene. You want to see a fit be thrown? Come watch. I will throw a big one. He just said, thank you, and got in the truck and shut the door and put that poor little trainee up. And I was like, listen, honey. I said, I would implore you to ask for someone else to train under. I said, because you ain't learning nothing under him. I said, no, the last guy they had that worked here, he was great. I said, I don't know what happened to him. I said, I know they don't pay you guys much. I said, but please know that sometimes what you bring in a box is not just a nice little surprise that doesn't matter if it gets here today, tomorrow. I said, sometimes it is a lifeline. I said, sometimes it is all they have. I said, to put in the refrigerator. Sometimes it is all they have to make it through the week. And if you don't show up, you take away their ability to eat. You take away their ability to make it through the week. You take away their ability to make meals for their husband who's working 14 hours on a factory floor. I said, you need to start thinking about the people you're packing these boxes for instead of thinking about the boxes. He said, yes, ma'am. And I said, I don't think either one of you is sorry. And I said, if I was your mama, I'd run my foot halfway up your ass. I said, but go back to corporate. And I said, tell them you did your best. And that you just couldn't find this place that's been found 47 times in a row. You just couldn't find it. I said, go ahead and tell your lies. And then I had to, everything, I said, I'm going to have to dispose of this now. I said, all you did was give me a box of ruined meat I'm going to have to dispose of. Everything had bled out through the box to the bottom. I had to bleach my kitchen floor. I had to take pictures of everything and send it to Home Fresh. I had to take pictures of everything and send it to FedEx. It was hot in the blue blazes. And even the canned stuff that I would have tried to have saved, the meat had just purged and bled out so bad. There was so much bacteria on it. I was scared to even try to get the canned goods out and wash them and try to save them. So David was just like, I'm pitching it all. He's like, that's nasty. He's like, I know we eat deer out of the woods. He said, but by God, that's nasty. And I said, yep, it's nasty. So, and it was warped and mint all heck and back. So I don't even know what I think they stopped and like played rugby with it. Well, I told him, I said, you can try to click incorrect address. I said, but that's the same address that's been on the 47 other deliveries that have made it. And I said, at some point, you're just going to have to stand there and admit that you're stupid. I mean, I just don't know what else to tell you. You're just going to have to admit that you're stupid. If somebody else can find this house 47 times in a row, and you found it twice in a row, and then you click incorrect address, you're just going to have to admit you're stupid. At that point, you shot all your bullets. You're shooting blanks now. It's just time to let people laugh at you. And I was not polite. I was not nice. I said, y'all better be glad that I know how to make stuff from scratch and I keep a little setback. I said, because what if I had been an 87-year-old woman with this condition? He said, why didn't you just have somebody deliver you some groceries? I said, there are no delivery services in this area anymore. I said, we had one little boy that tried it for 2 years, and I said, he gave up and went into HVAC service. He said, well, can't you do a Walmart pickup? I said, if my legs work and I can drive. I said, you're not picking up. I said, you don't care about other people, do you? I said, you just don't care. I said, you just do not care. I said, your job is not to assume the worth of the person who's getting the delivery. I said, your job is to assume that the worth of the delivery you're delivering is very important and they need it on the day it's supposed to be there. I said, you're going backwards about all this. So the little trainee guy, bless his heart, he knew. You could see it written all over his face that he had had a rough week with that man. He looked like a battered woman. And I thought, well, stand up for yourself, little idiot. But he did. He looked like a battered woman. And I thought, I don't know if I'm supposed to feel sorry for you or what, but I do not. Because I've sat here and thank God we've had squash coming in from the garden and deer meat in the freezer, and you can't depend on nothing. And you call FedEx and they're like, well, ma'am, why don't you just drive to the nearest FedEx reception area and we'll drop it off there? Well, that's an hour and a half away. That's a 3-hour circle. You think I can do that? If I could do that, I would be working. Oh, how I miss working. Working would really fix all my problems. They have no idea how upset I am that I'm locked into a 10-mile radius of this house. It's a frustrating feeling. It's a frustrating feeling. Even to drive 23 minutes down the mountain to my mom to take care of her, I'm going to have to stay multiple days in a row, because if I were to try to drive that and back a day, it would literally wear me out. It would be too taxing. And it's just because of my muscle issues and this disorder. And that's why I'm at home all the time unless I go somewhere with David. And even when I go somewhere with David, we take my rolly chair, we take my hiking pole, we take my canes, we take my braces. And we are prepared for my body to pull many or any of its capable blunders and make a big example of me in front of God and everybody. Yeah, I like the reviews on Temu because some of it is cheap, and if you can watch the people that are buying stuff and they tell you the truth, you can really kind of get a guide about what's worth spending your money on and what's not. I really like Audrey Loves too. She's a sweetie pie. If I could make a bobblehead of anybody, I'd make a bobblehead of Audrey Loves, and I'd take her with me everywhere. You think I talk Southern? No, I'm Appalachia Hill dialect. If you want to hear sweet tea Southern, you go listen to Audrey Loves channel. Audrey Loves. She is just a big gulp of sweet tea. Redheaded and gorgeous, and she's lost a lot of weight recently, but she's always had the perfect proportions. She's one of those women that walk by me, even when they're 3 times fatter than me, they still look skinny because God gave them good proportions, and then I have to have a moment and be like, God, Jesus, why did you do this to me? Why did you build me like a Sherman Army tank and build her like Roger Rabbit's woman? It's not fair. Jessica Rabbit. That was her name, Jessica Rabbit. I just watched the one blip where Patty was sitting there saying nobody would take her case for under $25,000 because of the amount that she was being sued for. And all I got to say is when you play with big money, you better set aside some of that big money for a big attorney. Because when you make big mistakes, they come with a big price tag. And what did I tell all of my teenagers, my children, as they got older? Consequences rarely come lubricated. It's supposed to hurt, so you remember and you don't do it again. So I'm hoping that she has learned a lot so far. But I will also say that something that really messed with my head. She just messed my head because she snapped at me like a little 13-year-old kid, and I was like, see ya. Not even going to try to have a conversation with a 50-something-year-old woman that's acting like she's 13. This is not how I play this game. She liked something I posted on Instagram the other day. She had blocked me on everything. And then the other day I posted a picture of something and she had liked it. Patty something other thrift had liked it on Instagram, and I was like, oh, good God. Back on her radar. I really don't want to be. So I'm just going to be quiet let her go her own way. Because, that court case doesn't involve me. She made her bed, she's going to have to lie in it. She did illegal things, they're going to hold her accountable for it. Ain't nothing that a bunch of fans has caused. It's her behaviors that has caused this, and she's going to have to stand up there alone with herself and her behaviors and answer for those behaviors. And she can try to blame it on whoever she wants to, but at the end of the day, she knows it was she, herself, that did the things that put her right there in that position. And, it's sad to watch anyone go through a struggle like this, but lessons have to be learned. And it don't matter what age you are, they'll hit you anytime. There is no expiration date for wisdom. And the good Lord will pull a punch when you think you're through the rough of it. Oh, no. The good Lord will say, oh, no, we're going to sneak in a lesson plan this week. We're going to sneak in one more lesson plan this week. I need you to learn this one more thing. And you'll have to learn it because good Lord said so. And it may be painful. Most likely will be painful. Oh, she told the judge that, oh my. Listen, she should at least try to act her age and act appropriate and not try to cast any further shade on her character because it's, already in question with the charges and the paperwork that's been filed. She would do well to seek legal counsel and pay for it just to have someone coach her about how to behave. Because there ain't no judge in this land going to allow her to play the game she's been playing for the last year, blaming it on everybody else and wanting to drag everybody else's name through the muck and mire. It will be handled in a court of law, and the business will be looked at, and if the business was illegal, then there will be a consequence. And that's the short and long of it. And I don't think she still understands that. I still think she thinks she can cloudy the water and walk away from this. You can't, because no judge is going to sit there and be distracted by cloudy water. They get right smack to the fresh water of the stream, and they start at the fount, but they don't wade through the crap. So I don't think she's quite ready and understands quite what is going to be expected of her in that capacity. And it's sad to see her go through it. Even though she did it to herself, it's sad to see her go through it. Because, any woman at that age that is silly enough to take that gamble, she's going to have a rough life the rest of her life because she certainly hasn't learned a whole lot. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that as a fact. If you got to that age and you still thought somehow that was legal and within your capacity to do, you've not learned a whole lot. And that means life is going to probably be hard for you for quite some more time until you learn a few more lessons. And the longer you have to wait, the longer in the tooth you are when you learn them lessons, the harder them lessons are to learn. And usually the more painful they are too. That's why when I always got old men out of prison and they'd had, 7 release options and they kept going back and getting more charges, I'd be like, okay, do you really like prison? Are you institutionalized? Is that where you function the best? Do I just need to go ahead and do a warrant? That's where you like to live? You like summer camp with the boys? And they'd be like, no, who would? Your paperwork reads like you do because you keep going back. If I had a cow and every time I opened the gate, he kept running back in, eventually I'd take him to the butcher. I said, I'm just surprised. It seems like if you was a cow, you just keep be running to the butcher. I said, have you not figured it out yet? I I think I had him for 2 or 3 years. I had him out for a while, and then he got into some trouble and went back in, and I was like, dude, I tried. But those it's harder. It's harder to absorb lessons and understand others' perspectives the older you get. So that's why it's so important to socialize your children and to talk to them about important social things as they become the correct age for it, to protect them from certain things until they become the perfect age for it. Because when things hit you at certain ages, it affects you in certain ways, and that's why it's so important to be a parent that cares and to make sure that you are doing right by your child, and that you're really, really trying to control that environment for them, to show them what a controlled, calm environment looks like, so that you hope they will maintain that and have a happy life. Now, will they all maintain it? No. It's just like training a colt. I could train a colt for 60 days and have it push button Cadillac when I was a young girl. Send it back to the people that owned it. They'd get lazy, not keep up with the training, not keep up with the same behavior and cues that I had taught, let it slip. That horse would learn it could get away with a little bit, and then it'd get away with a little bit more. And then it realized, hey, that big burly girl isn't here to keep me straight, so I don't have to do it anymore. And he'd go right back to his old ways. And in 30 more days, they'd come back and say, can you give him a refresher? He's not doing too well. I said, well, did y'all maintain the training? No. So, even as great as you raise somebody, it's the environment you sit in that will dictate a lot about you. And so, even some of the greatest people, if they sit in sorry environments, will become sorry. But we also have people that are exceptions to that rule. And no matter the sorry environment they sit in, somehow they formed a greatness. So there are exceptions to every rule. But primarily, you want to raise a child and show them how to control their environment and how to treat people. Because that is a harder lesson to learn when you're 30 than when you're 5. Because when you're 5 and you smack somebody in pre-K, you get took out by the kindergarten teacher and you get put in the corner and you have to apologize and hug and promise never do it again because that's hurtful, and we don't touch people that way. We don't put our hands on people when we're angry. Now, if you learn it at 30, you're probably going to catch an assault charge and get some time, or at least some time on paper. If you're lucky, haven't had a charge before that, you'll get a diversion and get to go your merry way after a few months. But, it's going to be more painful the longer you wait to learn your lesson. I just stabbed myself clean down to my bone on my thumb right there. Well, my thought on what's going on, she's going to run her mouth, and the judge is going to pick up on that she has not educated herself in a way to maintain a business, but she certainly did educate herself in a way to buy real estate and augment signatures and hide invoices. And they will make a decision on if they think that violated the law. So I think that's just what we've got to wait on. I mean, what real estate case does any judge need to know who you're screwing? None. He just needs to know who bought the house, with whose money, who signed, and if it was a legal transaction. He don't need to know who you're flirting with, who you're boot scooting boogieing with. He don't need to know none of that. And he's, and when judges hear stuff like that, they know it's a deflection. They know it is a cry for please feel sorry for me. I'm being used in some way. And they know that the people saying please feel sorry for me, I'm being used in some way, are the people that use other people. So Hit dog hollers. She's making a lot of noise right now because hit dog hollers. I feel awful for her because she ought to have known better. She ought to have known the law better. She ought to have known her job better. And she ought to have cared enough to have not done something to someone that she was supposed to have loved. But I still feel bad because I know that she's in a very uncomfortable scenario right now, learning a very uncomfortable lesson. But at the same time, while I can have compassion for her, I also believe it's a lesson she needs to learn. So it's hers to learn. Oh, who would want him there as a character? I mean, whoever comes to support you is basically a character witness. That judge is going to pay attention to who is sitting there and who you're talking to and who you're sliding notes to and who you're making eyes to. Who would ever think that having him sit behind them in a court of law would be a good idea? Oh, you're on trial for murder? Oh, and you've got a cousin by the last name of Manson that's going to sit behind you for a support. Sorry, I don't think that's a good idea. Just don't think that will portray what we want to portray to the judge. Woo, buddy. And a lot of this, because of the finances that went through, is criminal. Just because of the amount of money that, was illegally, fraudulently spent, it's criminal. But these scissors are so dull in certain places. There's going to be a lot of it that's going to be left to go to civil court. And it's just going to be a mess for a while. It's going to be a mess. And while I have pity on them all for having to deal with it, I also am realistic in knowing that this is a lesson that she decided she needed to learn by having inappropriate behaviors. Okay, now I've got to go get my piece to patch. So I've got all of it sewed. This is the inside out. But I've got to go get my piece to patch, and I'm going to cut it into two, and I'll sew one right here to the tail. Well, probably just one right here to the tail, and then I'll sew them together because he'll need a knot to take out to give him a little age room to grow because he's so little right now. So while I've been sitting here talking to y'all, that's what I've been making. And then I'll hem, once I get the sides on and stitch, then I'll put a nice hem underneath here so it's all even around. They don't take forever to make. They're just really, really hard on your hands. But it's really good for my arthritis. It keeps my arthritis at bay. And my doctors say it's really helping my arthritis. And I have copper gloves that I wear, and I try to buy the copper thimbles, and that helps with the arthritis as well. So all in all, it's helping that I'm doing these things. But Lord have mercy. Like, I've got a beaver hat, a raccoon hat, and a coyote hat over there that I made. I made 3 in 1 week. And then I made a beaver pocketbook. And it's adorable. But this one is just for the guy that stained our house. His little grandson was just like, I want one of those. And I can't say no to a child. I just can't. And so I was like, sure, buddy, I'll make you one. Sitting there thinking, doggone it, that's going to be 3 more hours of sewing. But he was 8 years old. And, and when he was handling one, we'd give him one to kind of put on and look at. And he handled it so carefully. And you could tell he was going to take care of it if we made. I was like, I'll make you one. Sure, I'll make you one. So that's why I'm sewing a hat on a Friday night for an 8-year-old. This is my Jack Skellington apron. When I sew, I wear it, and then I have a blue one when I cook, I wear it. I have on a polka dotted sundress for today. I wore polka dots all day. I know they say fat girls shouldn't wear polka dots. Breaking all the rules. Trying to. I'm hoping to. I didn't feel very well today, so I didn't really get out of the house a lot. I just didn't have a really good energy day. So I'm hoping tomorrow, if David's home, that I can get back and do my exercises in the pool tomorrow instead of in the house. That seems to make me feel better. I just didn't have the gumption today to do it. Hey, Gypsy. I said, I bet you they thought, Gypsy thought I left her. Mom called and then I fell asleep. And then I woke up and went live. I've been sitting here sewing a raccoon hat. Well, I have made some of the cutest, and I made a medicine bag too, a little spirit bag too, a little tiny spirit bag. But the garment quality beaver pelts are so pretty, and they make such pretty bags that every time I get, Dave was like, well, you can have that hide, you can, and I just go crazy and make a purse because they're just so pretty. They're just so flippin' pretty, and that one, I made that one little hat, beaver hat. It matched my hair so well. So apparently I'm not a limousine heifer anymore. I'm now the same color as a Tennessee tree rat. Beaver. Hey, little bit of Nell, I was just telling them about you. I said, oh my gosh, y'all have got to go and check on her. I got my perfume in, woman. Guess what it smells like? Caramel. I smelled like a caramel cake pop all day today. And I got yellow jacket bit too. Look at that. Apparently God said I was too pretty and the yellow jacket had to scar me up. We're going to go with that anyway. Y'all, this is a little bit of Nell. I'm telling you, if you want to laugh, go watch this woman. She does great Temu reviews. If you want to understand the quality before you purchase, go watch her. And if you just want to laugh your butt off, go watch her. If I lived closer to you, I would be knocking on your door every day going, let me in. It's time for some tea, coffee, something. We're going to have to talk. Yes, that stuff, that it smelled so good. And it didn't, like, when you scrolled on the screen, it didn't look like anything. So I never would have even noticed it because perfume's not my thing. But I'm so glad you made such a fuss about it because I was like, okay, no, I like stuff that smells like that. And it smells exactly, I smell like a caramel cake pop. Even my husband said I smell good. My husband doesn't smell anything but Tink 69 for deer season. So it was a win-win for me. I was great. I was just like, woot, woot. I got the best dupe of a perfume. And it's quite a bit. It'll last quite a while. And, I mean, you can still smell it on me. It's pretty doggone good. I will put a picture of it in my community section when we get done with the live because I can't remember the name of it. It was weird. Now, Nell might remember the name of it. I don't know. I don't remember the name of it. It was weird. But it was such a nice, like a grandma's home cooking, yummy smell. It was just nice. And I thought, I can handle this. And for really cheap for the size bottle. Gudu milk perfume or something like that, right? Gudu milk perfume. I think they also have like a lip chap, something, lip balm. You see how good I am with this girl stuff. I've been sitting here sewing on a raccoon skin hat for a little 8-year-old boy who wants to be Daniel Boone. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been sitting here doing this. I do the weirdest things because I live in Appalachia and I'm half Cherokee and I do the weirdest things. But I said, well, I'm on a Friday night at home because an 8-year-old boy asked this and I could not say no. And that's just how women, when you get to be my age, and it's just like the grandma genes take over. And when they bat those eyes and say, please, you're lost. You just going to have to do it. You just might as well say, okay, to everything that, okay, I'll do it. Sure, I'll do that. Get right on it. Because it's going to happen. And I just could not tell him no. I could not. So here I sat doing 3 hours of hand sewing. But he's an adorable little 8-year-old boy. And he helped his grandpa. They stayed in our house. And he came with his grandpa 2 days and helped. And he did not say anything about my lemonade, which I know was not near sweet enough. So I'm giving him bonus points for politeness on that one. We've got Eduardo, Grayson Mann. I had a friend named Grayson when I was in 3rd or 4th grade, Grayson. I'm bad at girl stuff. I'm very bad at girl stuff. Well, I need all the help I can get. That's why I try to find really sweet, like Audrey Love, and I like Audrey Love, and I like Nell, and then who else do I follow? I like the Canterbury Cottage lady. She's so refined and sweet, and I'm like, I will never be that woman. But I like to watch them and think that I might pick up some polite maneuvers. But y'all, my husband is a trapper and a tanner. I am half Irish, half Cherokee. I'm a retired parole officer and retired counselor. And I would never have retired except for I got injured when a boy threw an axe at me. I was a wilderness boot camp counselor. He threw an axe at me, and that started a lot of leg surgeries, which led to a neuromuscular disorder, which is a lot like MS now. So I don't always work correctly. So I'm home. And I cannot stand to be bored. But the one thing that I have an abundance of, because my husband traps and tans, are hides. The TWRA asks him to trap certain animals every year that are nuisance populations. So we don't trap anything to extinction, and we don't go after anything crazy. But like if a certain side of the county has got too many beaver and it's changing the waterway or the watershed, then they'll say, hey, can you trap over there, and kind of pull those numbers down. Or if farmers are experiencing calves being taken by the coyote dens and groups, they'll say, hey, can you focus down into the mountain where the coyotes are getting a little out of hand? Now, right now, we only get 3 archery days for black bears a year, and our black bear population has quadrupled to the point where I've got them walking through my corn in my garden at night, which is why I buy solar lights and put them everywhere. And so I'm thinking they're probably going to have to up our days for bear hunts because our bear population is going sky high. But I live in BFE, Appalachia, where we still eat predominantly out of the woods. We live very close to nature. I am an hour from any interstate. I don't have a local hospital. I live in the middle of nowhere. So we have a different life. But I love to go on YouTube and find people that I enjoy. And like if I lived closer, I would totally be like at your kitchen drinking coffee and just laughing all day with you. Just I love it. I love to find the great personalities and the great people. And there's some great minds on here too. You know, there's some great minds on here. And I like that. But I will say that as nice as it is to find people in this little boob tube thing, a real physical interaction where you have a real energy swap with a physical individual where you meet and have like a day at the park, that's what everybody really needs to do these days because we live too much in this realm. But I have to say, being disabled and being stuck at home a lot with my disorder because I don't have good mobility days, it's been a saving grace to find the people that make me smile on days it's hard for me to smile. You stay in the boondocks. Yeah, it's I worked professionally and I've lived in bigger cities and stuff, but I always came home, to the Appalachian Mountains. Always came home to the plateau, and we're really not backwards people. We're actually we have quite a diverse population here. We're just really well hidden. And I think we like that because nobody knows about our small, quaint little town, and we're like, shh. But we all love each other and get along. We have a great little community, and it's kind of like one of those hidden little gems. And every time somebody comes by and drives through and stops to trail ride or raft the rivers or do hiking or something, then they will move in. They will end up my property and moving here. And so we've boomed the last 4 or 5 years. We've boomed because people have really sought out our small community. But yeah, we're rural. Like it's not anything for me to open the door and have to squawk at a black bear to get off my goddamn front porch. So, matter of fact, I think on a live stream we heard it on the front porch a couple winters ago, and I had to get up and he was on the front porch, and I had to squawk at him to get off the front porch. They will make the biggest mess. They're very agile when they're running or when they're getting away but they just kind of lumber around and they will bite things or just smack. They'll just leave something just to say I was here. Either they'll leave a big pile of crap or they'll knock down a fence post or they'll leave a claw mark on a tree, or they'll bite into something and leave a big, bite mark. And it's just like, dude, I can see your feet print. You don't need to leave a calling card. I know you were here. But, yeah, they're like a big drunk toddler. That's exactly what they are. Oh, that's exactly what they are. And it's like, just would you go on your way? And I had one outside the back porch one night. And our back porch is about 6 or 7 foot. And then it's cedar shake shingles. Say that 5 times fast. And he had gotten into somebody's trash, was packing a can around in his mouth. And he had stopped right at the back door of my back porch. So I go out, it's covered porch, and there's a door. He had stopped right there to lick on that can. And I had heard something, I didn't know what it was, but me and my jammies and my light went out. And me being who I am, I thought it was somebody's dog or something. I said, get on out of here. And I heard him lick. And a bear has when you hear a bear lick its nose, you know it's a bear. There's nothing else that sounds like that when it licks its nose when it's eating. And I jumped back in and I said, David, there's a black bear right outside of our porch. I don't want it to mess up shoo it off. And he goes, you're just as scary as I am. No, that's not good. I am, though. I am the meaner person, I guess. And so I stepped back out, and I'm right there where I can go back in the door if I need to. And, if it tries to come in, don't worry, people. I am armed to the hilt. But I kind of stuck my head back out and said, get on out of here, And I sounded way like a man when I did it, because my daddy taught me how to call the dogs when I was about that big. And that thing went, it huffed at me, which is you're making me mad. And I'm going to tell you one more time, leave me alone. Of course, me being the person I am, when it huffed me, I said, oh, no, you did not just huff at me. And then it starts to push up against my back porch as it's fixing to curve and come around and I shut the door, and I come back with a big bright spotlight. And I thought, buddy, if you're going to try to come in this door, okay, they can just come pick your carcass up right here. But he left. I guess he figured I was more trouble than he was willing to give me, time for. So he ambled on off, left the flippin' can, and it was one of those big dog food cans, left the flippin' can in my backyard. It was twisted in 3 pieces. And that was probably about a 450 pounder. Now, the one that was on my front porch 2 winters ago was a juvenile. Probably hadn't been away from its mama very long, was terribly skinny. I called the TWRA and I said, listen, he's so little, I don't think he's going to make it through the winter. He's obviously struggling. If y'all could get a bear trap and get him, isolated and released in a better place after you've rehabbed him a little bit, he might make it. So they actually came out and tried to trap him. Could not ever find him. I'm afraid he died. But he looked really bad. He was eating my cat food. He was eating my cat food. So we have a really strange area. But, it's all good. It's all good. We all live different. I think that is kind of like the spice of life. We all live different, but we can always find something to like about somebody. We can always find joy in others and the way others live their life. We can always have a good laugh. And Nell's like, oh, wow. Oh, dear. I have my master's in psychology, and I am, I worked as a professional, in the corrections world for a long time, forensic psychology in the prison system, basically, and I supervised the murderers and the violent offenders. But then when my health became too bad, I had to bow out way early. So when I find people that make me laugh, I latch onto them. So that's why I latched onto you, Nell. You made me laugh, and that was priceless on the day that you made me laugh, because I was not having a good health day. And so that's why I appreciate you so much. And you're so honest about your reviews that it helps me when I'm going to order from Temu. It helps me think, okay, do I really want to buy that now since I've seen that? But girl, I'm here to tell you, I want a wig so bad. I can't stand. I want a wig so bad now. I cannot stand. I'm going to buy one. And I have to say that, okay, the one that had the band on it that was like the burgundy that you had on the other day was so pretty. And I thought, I have this mess on my head a lot of times, and if I could just hide it and put on something that looked decent, I sure would try that a time or two. I think I might just have to try me. But I'm here to, when you put the one on and started singing Whitney Houston, I was right there with you. I sung that for my 8th grade graduation, and I was just singing right there with you. I believe the children are our future. I was just going right along with you, but I loved that wig on you. I loved it. Yeah, you needed to shape it a little bit, but I loved it. I loved those curls. And I thought, I used to have really, really curly hair, and as I got older, it straightened, and I thought, that might be one what if my hair had stayed curly my whole life just to see what it would have looked like? But I'm going to buy me a wig, and when I do, I'm going to dedicate that video to you, and I'm going to be like, you can blame Nell for this. Because she made these wigs so tantalizing that I had to try. I already told my husband, listen, if a Temu package comes in and you open it and there's wigs, don't worry. They're mine. But I'm watching. I'm watching and I'm learning. But I am eventually gonna buy one. I am, and I'm gonna do a try on, and we're gonna see if I have the capacity and the capability to do that, because I don't know if I have that skill set. That's something I just don't know if I have that skill set. I can do lots of strange things. Like I can fix the hydraulic lines on a tractor, but I'm not sure if I could put on a wig very well. But we'll see. I'm trying to become a better lady now, since I'm not working in the prison world and not always in the woods or on the farm. I'm trying to become more of a lady. A little late in life, I might admit, but I'm trying. I'm trying real hard. I really am. I really am trying. You want a hairpiece? Yes, I want one of those little ones that clips on right here that just adds the volume. Of course, I have a lot of hair, but it just does not obey me. That's my problem. Oh, you wait. I'll have me a collection, and they'll all have names because I name everything. And we'll have a big old video. It will happen. I know it will, because I find myself on the wig page a lot now, looking and going, yeah, I can do that. And I'm scared of the colors. I'm terrified of the colors. So I have a really odd complexion because I'm half Irish, half Cherokee, and I have a really weird undertone to my skin. So certain colors just make me look sick. And so I'm terrified of color. So I'm going to have to really call some favors in from some beautician friends and be like, okay, what do I need to do? What would be my best color option? But I'm going to get a wig, and I'm going to make that video. And I'm going to be like, dedicate this to Nell. Because I've never had the desire for a wig. But when I watched you putting on those wigs, I was like, I want to do that. If I'd been there, I'd have been sitting there going, take it off, let me try it. So y'all, when you see me trying a wig, this is the woman who made me want to do it. But y'all do know, go give her a follow. Watch her do her Temu reviews. She keeps it very honest. And she will actually find products that you don't know exist on Temu that are quite nice and that you will want to find. So make sure that you're watching a little bit of Nell, because she is like my Temu guide. So I watch her a lot. Oh no, Leave a Cat, you've been plumbing. Oh no, it's contagious. Is it just stopped up? Gypsy, we may have to do a dual video of wigs. I tell you what, the plumber dude that I called first said, he said, have you put baking soda and hot water and vinegar down it yet? And I was like, I'm not trying to blow anything up. And he was like, no, normally that'll loosen anything that's in there and let it go on down. And I was like, No. And he was like, would you like to do that before you pay me $285 to come out? And I did not think it would correct my issue, but that might be something you may want to try, want to look onto. The bitch. Oh yeah, see that I had to replace all of that under my sink because the tornadoes and the pressure that blew through the vent, it like basically stripped all those old fittings. It was amazing. That tornado, and we were in between two tornadoes. We were just in the airflow, and it was so violent. It was the weirdest. I don't know how to explain it. You just have to. I mean, you can see it in the video I posted about it. How weird the air was. I just never expected it to go up a vent pipe and like internally combust the plumbing. Have you already tried like liquid plumber and Drano and stuff? Or a goat. I need a garbage disposal or a goat. This is the only chat that you'll hear that in. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Nell, if you're still in here, drop your link so they can find your page. I swear everybody needs to go and show Nell some love. There is stuff that you have to go to the counter at Ace Hardware to buy. It's called Liquid Fire, but you cannot put it in your drain if you've put Drano or Liquid Plumber or anything down it for like 7 days. It will take anything out that's clogged. It will eat anything away. But you can't combine it with other things because it could be dangerous. And so if my house ever gets stopped up or draining slow, I don't use Liquid Plumber or Drano. I go straight and buy behind the counter the Liquid Fire, and that's all I put in my house. And that I don't mix because, for 7 days you can't use anything else. And I did that, and that was probably the biggest help, the plumber said, for me getting that moved on out, because it strips grease and basically eats everything down through the pipe. And that was great. But you have to have so many days between the other things that you put down your lines because it could be dangerous and go kaboom. But that may be something you want to ask the guys at your hardware store too. Yeah, you have to be very careful with it. Very careful with it. And you can't mix it with anything. But that's why it's the only thing that I use. And I think that's why I had gotten so comfortable, is I hadn't had anything that I needed to use. And basically my drains were fine, but when the tornado came and the vent pipe cracked and it caused the backflow, that's what was stopping it up, was where the tornado damage had created a backflow. That's what was stopping it up. And so that's why when they finally replaced those pipes, I thought fixing the faucet and stuff would fix it. I thought that was where the only thing that was wrong. And no, it was where that air had gone clean halfway through the house to where my washing machine hooks up and had busted pipes and had like broken seals. And we had no idea until the plumbers got to start, and it was just like they kept finding, and I was just like, my God. And I had to keep plunging. I went through 3 Mr. Clean plungers, because it was just the way it was cracked. It was like a saw sucking stuff back in the house. And I would have to keep plunging it back down until the plumber got there to fix it. And I went through 3 Mr. Clean plungers. Them suckers are expensive, but they're good, but they're expensive. And it was the most frustrating time of my life. Yeah, Denise, you have to talk to the people behind the counter and talk to them about your house and make sure it's something that you can use. Because it's one of those you have to use very specifically if you use it. So, but it's never failed me, but I don't have to use it often. I never really had a problem until those tornadoes come through, and then my house just stopped working. And I never would have thought a tornado would screw up your plumbing, but now that I think about it, yeah, if you blow into an empty McDonald's sweet tea cup, you can blow that sucker apart. So that's what happened to my pipes in my house. All the way to my washing machine. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. But no, the plumber that I called, he was like, "Why don't you try some baking soda and vinegar and hot water?" And I was like, "I think I'll just wait for you. I think I'm beyond that." And I'm glad I did, because that would have just been stuck in there too. And I knew that with, stuff that I tried, probably didn't need to put anything in there that was going to go kaboom. So I just waited on the plumber. If I could send you my little local guy that I found, I would. But I think you're too far away. He's awesome though. He's on my Christmas card list, y'all. I've adopted him. He is honorary family. Like, seriously, I ain't losing him. He's handy. If we have any more tornadoes on this plateau this year, something's wrong, because we don't have this many tornadoes here. Even try the Coca-Cola. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to be praying over your pipes tonight. Because I swear for like a week, that's all I did was pray for my plumbing. I know that sounds horrible, but I visited Mom one day and she was singing that song, Daniel prayed every morning, noon and night. And I said, well, apparently I'm Daniel. And apparently Daniel had plumbing problems, because that's why I was praying every morning, noon and night. And my mother just looked at me and shook her head. And I was like, I'm serious, Mom. I'm hoping you probably just got something in that P-trap, in that bend, and it probably will be an easy clean out and fix. But it's frustrating when you run in a home and your sink doesn't work. Like, that is the cusp of the home. That's where everything has to function from. That is everything you do, your kitchen sink is tied to it. And it's like you can't function a home without a kitchen sink. And like, my husband was so laid back, he's like, I'll get around to it. No, you don't understand. I need a kitchen sink now. Oh no, you've got a block. I bet you they have to snake it. But if they have to snake it, they ought to have their own. But just FYI, you can also rent snakes from Ace Hardware. Cheap. 50 footers, 100 footers, you can rent them super cheap. So I hope it's an easy fix, because normally it's just a clog, and once they snake it, it goes on through. Mine was, we had 20-something-year-old pipes, and that tornado had busted every sealed connection, and they were the old type connections, because hello, that we'd never had any problems. Whoever did our plumbing did it very well. It was just old, and it got just enough power behind the push that it cracked all the fittings and busted our main pipe, which created a suction. And never in my life would I've ever expected to have handled anything like that. I learned so much about plumbing that I never want to know, that I know I'll never be able to forget, because it's now trapped in my brain, because my brain is a sponge. It's killing me. It's killing me. Oh, if you have a home remedy, do share. We all need to learn as many as we can. That was like the worst week of my life. It really was. I went and bought me one of those tubs, and so I'd fill it and just sit my dishes in my tub. I bought 2 of them. I sit my dishes in my tub with my soap, wash them, and then put them in my rinse tub, rinse them, and then dry them and put them up. But I had to pack my dishes to the bathroom to wash them in my tub in the tub. Yeah, in my little tub in the big tub. And so I had 2 little tubs in my big tub, and it was just an enormous epic. I mean, and if you've got a disorder, it's horrible. Oh yeah, send down jagged stuff every once in a while to scrape off the pipes. I never heard about that one. Yeah, I guess that would kind of be the first ever Drano. Of course, it would have to come out of a chicken's butt. Everything that started anything for people came out of a chicken's butt. I keep teasing Gypsy saying I'm going to order her chickens, those little T-Rex arms that you hang around their neck. Totally going to do it. It's just going to show up in the mail one day. Lord, your AC's jacked up. And your SUV. Oh my gosh, do they just need to charge it? Oh no. How old is your Ford? Is it new? Is it still under warranty? My Jeep is a 2015. And I literally pray every time I get in it that nothing else happens to it. Because I'm like, listen, I got to roll with you forever. Like, we can't part ways. You're the last vehicle I need to have. You just need to live as long as possible. But I've got that crack in that windshield I've got to fix. But now I've had to recharge my AC twice in the last two. Every spring, basically, I have to go and have them charge my AC. And anytime they pull a dash, I swear they make them so that anytime they pull a dash, they can make it as expensive as possible because that takes man hours. I've been tickled with mine. It's I've only ever done regular maintenance to it or preemptive maintenance, like when you hit certain miles you need to flush something or replace something. And it's knock on wood. It's been a great one. I just have that crack in my windshield that, when crap happens, but I'll get it fixed here soon. It's over just on the very edge of one side, so it's not a big deal, but it's been a good one. And I picked it out, and the Dodge truck I picked out, we rolled it till it died. So I'm pretty good at picking out vehicles. Horrible at plumbing. Horrible at plumbing. They say bad things come in threes, so be prepared for one more. There was like 2.5 weeks there that I was just crying every day. Every day. Yeah, when I was a teenager, AC was when you rolled your window down and rolled your shirt sleeve up. I never had a truck with AC. I never had a vehicle with AC until I had kids. And then I had a baby that got hot, and then it was like, okay, got to have a car with AC. I never had, gosh, how many vehicles did I have? Well, even when the kids were toddlers and we divorced, I had to buy another vehicle because of the divorce and the splitting of everything. And even the vehicle I bought then did not have AC, but it had a sunroof, luckily. And so the wind flow was good. And they were old enough then they could, hold a iced sippy cup wherever we were going and be okay. But so I had one car when Haley was a baby with AC. And then when the divorce hit, we didn't have AC again until, gosh, I married David, and we were married for about 6 months, and he told me I needed a better vehicle with kids. And he went and bought me a little Plymouth Breeze, which was actually a cute car at the time. He bought it for me. Just bought it for me. It was a little 5-speed. I could drive stick. And I had that car forever until I bought that Dodge truck. And I had that Dodge truck when I went to work for the Department of Corrections. So we keep vehicles until they fall apart. We duct tape them for a long time around here. Long time. The only reason I bought the Jeep was when I was still working. I was going through 3 counties doing counseling, and so I was driving a lot of miles. Had I known my health was fixing to fail so quickly, I would not have bought it. I would have stayed with the other vehicle I had and just been okay, but I bought the Jeep. Because I did go through cars. I would get them for 2 years and then turn them back in because I would drive so many miles for the state of Tennessee doing home visits and doing revocation hearings at different institutions in Northeast Correctional and down there in Bledsoe County, and then you have to go over to Whiteville and Hardeman County, and I mean, just all across Tennessee. And I would put so many miles that it was just better for me every couple of years to get a new one. And I hated that because I never had vehicles like that until I worked that job. But now that I'm not working anymore, I'm like, me and that Jeep, we're in it till death do us part. That's it. Maddie has just blossomed in the last couple years, Snee. She's just become this little awesome adult. I'm so proud of her. I know some about a lot of your families and stuff, and I don't talk a lot, but we've got some awesome kids in this group that are doing some pretty awesome things. A lot of talented, especially musically talented kids are in this group of people here. So that's nice. But Lord, I've been talking for over an hour. I need to shut up. Well, listen, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to finish and put on the last addition to this, but I won't hem it until tomorrow. I hope he likes it. He said he'd keep it forever and ever, so I've got to finish that patch. And when I finish that patch, and then I'll go through and put my hem on, and then it will be very pretty. And he will have his Daniel Boone, Davy Crockett hats, what he wants. And I think tomorrow, I don't know David's weekend schedule. I'm hoping he has at least one day off. Oh my gosh, like I think I'm married. I miss my husband. He's never home. But I hope he has at least one day off because today has not been a very good health day for me. And I didn't get in my pool today because I just did not feel very good today. And so I'm hoping he's off at least one day this weekend so I can have a day where I can be in and out of the pool as I feel like it. Because that's what I like to do, in and out. I feel like it, and do my exercises more than once. But today I've just rested and not felt good. I fell asleep. Every time I've gotten still, I've fallen asleep. So yes, Denise, I was part of that. Did they get? Is she in there too? That's good. That's good. Well, let's all send some good energy and prayers up for Leva Cat's plumbing and air conditioning. I think back then all it was I got my picture in a book and I got a book. I don't think it really got me anything, but I think it's different now. I think it gives you more options for scholarships and stuff now. So I don't know how it's changed since then because I've not looked into it, but I mean, still, that's a big deal. Haley was in that too. I don't remember that much about it. She handled all her paperwork because she was such a little grown up. I don't remember much about it. Except for it took the book forever to come in. I do remember that because she was frustrated that it took the book forever to come in. Yeah. Haley put in for 37 scholarships at our local school. Didn't get a one. Even though she was the top 10 in her class, didn't get a one. Literally 6 kids. We got like all that money between them. Some kids got 2 full ride scholarships, which is stupid because you can't have 2 full ride scholarships. So it was just small town politics. But hey, my daughter got through UT of Knoxville with 4.0, so I'm fine with that. She's married and settled and doing her vet tech and surgical stuff, and she's happy, so it's all that matters now. Well, I hope things calm down for you, Leva Cats. I know exactly what you're going through, honey, and I'll be sending you some good vibes and thinking of you because it was a pathetic experience for me. And I wish you were closer. I would totally send you my little plumber guy. He's amazing. He actually works for the gas company. He's quite an amazing man. Sweetest guy I ever did meet too. Just very sweet. Had a very meek and humble spirit about him. Very, very nice guy. I enjoyed. Didn't mind at all having him in my home. Felt like I'd known him for a long time. And that's nice when you can find somebody you're that comfortable with, especially if you're a woman and you're always home alone. Even though I'm big and burly and can beat up anybody if I really wanted to, it's nice to know there's still men that you can trust to come in the home and do those things, because this world's getting a little crazy. Getting a little crazy. Little crazy. So, everybody, send up some good vibes for Leva Cats. Always send up good vibes for Denise. She's been going through all that health stuff, and she's tougher than a pine knot. So keep thinking about her. I know me and Gypsy have been having, like, every other day the weather's getting one of us, and we just seem to swap days, but we're managing. My friend Kim, bless her heart's been going through a lot of anxiety and stress here lately. They've got 2 people in the family that they help take care for, just aged with dementia and Alzheimer's, and it's a lot like Granny, only it's a little bit more combative because it's men. And so she's been struggling a lot with that. So tossed up some prayers for her. And just try to kind of send some good energy up for everybody that's in here. Yeah, the weather's been kicking our butts big time. But absolutely, if you want to laugh, go and show a little bit of Nell some support, because she is someone that will brighten your day. If you're having a bad day like I have on many occasions, I can watch one of her videos and it will make me smile within 5 minutes. She's just got a very vivacious heart and energy about her, and she's just vibrant and funny, and you just feel the warmth and goodness when she's just making you laugh. I just get the biggest kick out of her. So please go and support her, because she has got the personality and the draw to really have a great page of fun, good, humorous, good-hearted humor, and that could really change her life and improve her world and do wonderful things for her. And if we could help her in any way, meet these goals and get seen by other people, we should do it, because she's just been a blessing to me, so I want us to be a blessing to her. So if everybody could go and sub to a little bit of Nell and just share out her page and let everybody know this lady's hilarious. Go watch her. You're going to love it. And she's also very honest about the Temu reviews, and that is very helpful if you're a Temu addict like me. Solar light addiction. I have a problem, and I'm fully aware. All right, I'm going to finish showing and let Oscar go potty. I think David's working late again tonight, so I'm just going to sit here and sew for an 8-year-old boy that wants a Daniel Boone Davy Crockett hat. I have such an interesting life, and I'm going to be praying for plumbing. I need to write a song, praying for plumbing. I bet you I could. I may have to get Jonah over here, and we may have to write a song about praying for plumbing. Oh, Jonah has a show this weekend. I can't remember if it's Saturday night or Sunday night. But I know he's supposed to drop by in a couple days, because he's got a cow skull that he wants, that he's had David fix. So he's got to drop by in a couple days. And I know he just dyed his hair like magenta. So I'm going to have to give him grief over that. So when Jonah stops by, I will show you his magenta hair, and we will give him grief about his magenta hair. It's pretty, but magenta? Really? Magenta? I miss my Jonah. Jonah's been busy, but he's been doing awesome stuff, and he's singing in his band, and they're doing paid gigs. So, he's obviously, I take a back seat because he's propelling, and I'm okay with that. But when he does have time, he swings by and checks on me. He actually sends me something about every 2 days to check on me online. So he's one of my good bonus kids. But I try to follow his gigs. This one's close enough. I might be able to go for a few minutes if Kim wants to go. I might check and see if she wants to do that. I can't stay for the whole thing, but I might be able to go watch the first couple of songs. I'll try to yell at Kim and see if she wants to do that. But he's talented, and I want to see him go places. So, but every once in a while, too, I want him to come back and visit and just be my little stupid Jonah that writes stupid songs and plays little guitar riffs just so we laugh. I miss him sometime. Oh, yeah, you said that earlier that he came over. Purple. It must be something. It must be something about that color side. pulling this month or something. Of course, what is it? June is that purpley color. That is Alexandrite. Maybe that's what does it. Maybe that's what pulls people's minds that way. I don't know. But his is like bright magenta. I'll try to get him to stop by so I can show y'all or get a picture from him. If I get to go to the concert or his little gig, I will try to get a little bit of video for you. And it all depends on how my legs do tomorrow because my legs have been crap here lately. I'm just not going to lie. They've been crap. And a crowd after night in close contact just for me is like a recipe for disaster. And taking a rolly cart to a crowd like that or a walker or a cane is just another recipe for disaster. So it's kind of like I want to go, but then I don't want to be a problem. I don't want to trip over people, if I'm there. So I have to pick and choose which battle I'm willing to take. But we'll see if we can get in there and get some video of him. I know that Manda Chaotic shares it on Instagram, and I think the Ditch Diggers have a Facebook and Instagram. It's the Ditch Diggers. So you can go and follow them on the Ditch Diggers Instagram and Facebook. And they should put up bits and pieces of the practices and their shows. So they're doing quite a bit, and I'm proud of him. And, of course, his other brother sings with the Nashville Tenors and does cruises and has been around the world doing plays, and so this is just a norm for this talented brothers, and I'm excited to see where he ends up. But I'm also the person that's like got my thumb on his head going, no, you behave, and you behave, you behave, you behave. Yep. Continue prayers for everybody, and sneak Jonah in there too while y'all are at it. Okay, I'm gonna let Oscar out, and then I will post pictures of the finished Daniel Boone David Crockett hat tomorrow, and we'll take it from there. If I can steal Dave this weekend for a couple's chat, I will. But thanks for spending time with me. We had a great talk the other day as well that you might want to watch and listen to. This was just more of a get-together, gag, talk, and chat and craft. Appreciate your time, and next one will be a pre-recorded craft video. I'll be hitting you probably around the first of the week. So I love you. Take care of yourself. Pray for each other. Do 3 nice things for somebody else so that 3 nice things will come back to you. And always give thanks when you lay down and you get up in the morning. It will change the way you view the world. And everybody, pray for Leva Cat's plumbing and her air conditioner. Love you guys. Night.